Hey everybody, it's Margaret. Welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. I'm waiting for my YouTube change something. So I'm waiting for it to pop up so I can mute it. There it is. Okay, there you go. I don't know why they changed that. It's super annoying. But hey, I wanted to come to you guys today and talk about something a little bit different than, it's not reselling or jewelry or anything else. If you're new here, hello, my name is Margaret. And normally my videos are about reselling and things like that. But I've talked over the years a little bit about, hang on, I'm moving something over here. Struggles that I've had with, anxiety and depression and things like that. And it's not something that is a constant with me, which I feel very fortunate. Fortunate that it's not, because I know there are people that have a debilitating stress and anxiety and stuff, but there are times in my life where it like really rears its head up, usually triggered by things. And so I can't necessarily talk about what's happening because I don't really think it's important why or what's going on. But what I did feel strongly about is that when I do, when I talked to you guys about this before, the few times I have, I wanted to be real about stuff, because I think it helps people that are struggling as well. And so my main objective for coming on and sharing just kind of my thought process about what's been going on with me is to help. You know what I mean? You ever have that feeling where you're just like, I feel like I really need to say this, because even if there's one person that hears it and it clicks something that's made it worth it. You know what I mean? So there's been some stressful stuff going on in my life. And again, it's not really something I feel comfortable getting into online. It's nothing devastating. Well, it's nothing devastating, let's put it that way, but it's just life stress. You know what I mean? And coming from, I'm trying to think how to wear this. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I know sometimes I'll say, why am I getting so stressed out about this? It's like not even like it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It shouldn't be like, and I'm saying this as a blanket statement because I have a feeling that other people do this too, where it's like, I am getting so stressed out about something, and to somebody else it would be like a non-issue, or like, oh, okay, we'll deal with it. Like, so everybody has a different trigger point for things that set them off or be, you know what I mean? Like cause either anxiety or panic attacks or sink them into depression. And sometimes one trigger may not do it, but then like with what's going on with me right now, it's like I've had 3 triggers hit all at one time, or 3 things happen. And it was just like, what? It sometimes feels like too much, right? Like too much. So what was I going to say? Another thing I wanted to say was, thinking like this, I think, is not right. Here's what I was thinking. Like, these things that are happening aren't happening to me. Like, there are a couple family members that have got some stuff going on, and it's really stressful, and it's not physically like happening to me. And so like that's part of and I was talking to a girlfriend of mine about that, and I was like, I feel stupid, like with 2 O's, for being so freaked out by all the stuff that's going on. And she's like, even though it's not physically happening to you, happening it's happening to you. Like you're having to process stuff. You know what I mean? So that's something I want to put out there. Like if you're going through something like that, don't try to rationalize it or make yourself feel even worse because you're like, oh my gosh, am I being like super selfish and just like, you know what I mean? And then the other thing I wanted to really stress, I was driving home anyway today, and I was just like, I really wanted to say, I haven't had until last night, I have not had a full-blown panic attack in probably 10 years. I mean, I've had like minor ones, but and again, the reason I'm saying this is that the reason, I know everybody has different triggers for panic, but if you are anything like me, and the reason about 10 years ago I started going into having these panic attacks is because there was something inside of me that needed to get out, that I needed to process. And whether it was like deep down and I wasn't allowing it, my my body was like, we're dealing with this now. You know, you can either deal with it or we can like, I will force you to deal with it. So I think taking stock of like what, unfortunately then I didn't get that. I was like really having a trouble processing it was like some past abuse stuff that had happened to me. And once I finally was like, I'm going to start seeing somebody, and I'm all for counselors. Okay. So I started seeing a counselor and all of that. I think I've talked about it in previous videos way back. But once I started dealing with it and like processing through it, my panic attacks tapered off and went away. And it took a long time. So when I feel those triggers coming up now, like I pay close attention. So last night I had like just a full blown panic, and I know, but at least like this time, like I know why. And so like I reached out to some friends and just like unloaded stuff, just like a bunch of stuff. And so I feel like better about it. I feel like, okay, I don't see myself having another big panic attack. Like, then again, you never know. But anyway, like following that, like I'm watching those triggers and making sure like, anyway, I was supposed to be on Nick's today, and I owe him probably a better explanation, but I did text him and like, I can't do it. I've got some family stuff going on. And I was like, I mean, you see the poofies. I mean, just, anyway, it's not, again, I didn't do this because I'm like, oh, let's feel bad for me. No, it's like, I feel very strongly about how scary this can be. And I was a person that absolutely, before I had a panic attack, I thought they were made up. I thought people were just trying to get attention. I thought it was just like, I thought it was like attention seeking behavior. And until I had one myself, and I didn't just have one, I had like, I'm trying to think how long it lasted, like 9 months or more of just like, it was horrible. I mean, daily. So I don't believe that they're made up anymore. But yeah, and so I just like, I wanted to come on and just say that, like, in case there's just somebody that's like, you see people, and I get this, like, people are like, how do you do everything? I'm like, nah, everybody has their moment of like, and watch, every time I do something like, every time like I share anything emotional, somebody in the comments later leaves, I mean, I end up deleting them, but people leave the nastiest messages or like comments like, I think you're bipolar, like, no, like having emotions and being honest and open about, how you feel about things, and that thing that like you're human, but yeah, so I'm fully prepared and aware that may happen. But I appreciate you guys. I see, a lot of you guys in the chat. Thank you for coming to hang out. Hey, Mary. But I think it's really important, especially when it's people that you see out. Yeah, I don't know how to put that. You know what I mean? People that you see, and I don't know. It's reality, and it hopefully makes other people feel like postpartum depression. You know what I mean? Before I had babies, and actually before, like Brooke Shields wrote a book, probably right before I had a baby or right around the time. And it just wasn't something that was like, people would call it the baby blues and things like that. And then you get postpartum depression, and you're like, why didn't somebody warn me? I feel like I'm going insane. Only it doesn't sound that funny. You know what I mean? So I think just having a face to it and saying like, it happens. It's normal. I mean, and then if it hasn't happened to you yet, it may someday. And then you'll be like, wow, I get it now. So yeah, I know, Tracy, they're just gonna be. I wish there was a way to stop it, but there's, welcome to life, right? People are gonna be mean. Anyway, so that was basically where I wanted to share, and just to say, look, there's stuff going on, and it doesn't really matter what the stuff is, really. My goal is just like, look, see? Everybody goes through stuff, and take care of yourself and pay attention to what your body and your you know, what's going on, and like just take a listen. You know what I mean? Now that you understand your condition, do you understand? Not all the time, Rags. I don't always know what the triggers are, but I recognize what my body feels like when it's about to hit. That's the part where I'm just like, I can feel it coming. For me, it's like I'll start feeling, this may sound weird, it starts to feel like I'm vibrating from the inside out. I mean, almost like, not exactly like when you've had too much coffee, because then you're physically vibrating, but like there's some like pulsingness that feels like it's like my insides are shaking. But I can hold my hands up like this, and like I was telling this to Randy, I was like, I feel like I am just vibrating, and I'm doing this, but we could see nothing. I'm not shaking, but like inside, like all the nerves in my body just were like, and, you know, and I know it sounds really scary. It is scary because it's like, I need to get this under control because I can feel full blown panic. Totally, Sandra. Yeah. With James, I had it really, really bad. With Mikey, I think knowing that trigger, like, that time I knew the trigger. It was having a baby. Knowing like I was so sleep deprived and I cannot handle it. So when we had Mikey, I was like, Randy, I'm going to need a lot more support so I can get sleep. Not that he wasn't supportive, don't get me wrong, but like as far as sleep goes, I was like, I know that is one area that I need, because it was hard with James. Like I really had a hard time. So, hello. Yeah. What else was I going to say? Something about triggers. Yeah, I think just recognizing it. And y'all, here's how bad it was. I was at Savers last night with a girlfriend. We had gone to eat dinner. She'd been like really great. And if she watches this, she's going to be like, why didn't you tell me you were in the middle of a panic attack? We'd gone to eat dinner, and I could feel it coming on. And I'm not wearing my watch right now, but I have an Apple Watch, and I'm sitting there, and I could feel myself we're having dinner, and I could feel like my insides just taking over. And so I looked down at my watch, and she was like, oh my gosh, is it getting late? And I was like, no, I'm just checking my heart rate, because my Apple Watch has a heart rate monitor, and my heart rate was like skyrocketing because I was just like, blah, 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 and I was just like, okay, you know. And I didn't want to say, because it's a new friend, I didn't want to say, P.S. I think I'm on the verge of having a major meltdown, you know. So then we had gone to Savers right after that, and I'm just like, I had to like take a walk around another aisle and just try to get some deep breaths in there to try to calm down and try to pull myself together, you know. And then when I went home, it was just like, you know, and that was that. So yeah, I feel better today because I wrote a big long message to some friends and just kind of was like, I am going through some stuff and this is what it is, and I hope you can be there for me. And everybody was wonderful, of course. So it's just, yeah, I appreciate it, you guys. And again, like, I think I'm on the uptick. I know there's the stressors that are going on are not going away right now, so things might be a little sketchy as far as videos and stuff. So you may see a little more, like, I don't know what. I don't even know what. I can't see the future. But I don't know, you know, we'll just see what we see. We'll see what happens. And now I need to message Nick and just give him a little more update, because we were pretty good friends, and I couldn't really talk about it when I told him I can't do the show. I'm sorry, you know, I'm not flaky. But anyway, hugs to you guys, especially if you need it. You know who you are, and I totally mean it. And I rhymed, and I did not mean to, but that's cool. But yeah, pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you. And if you don't know why it's happening, because a long time ago when I had panic attacks, I didn't know why. And it took a long time because I think I didn't want to process the things that were coming through. And this time it's like, I know why. I'm holding on to some stuff that's going on, and I need a I need a support system, and I wasn't reaching out, and I don't have a counselor here. You know, I haven't had a counselor in many, many, many years. So it was like I didn't have a place to really like a safe place to go unload it, or you know. And again, you could be in a different spot, because back then I was not ready to unload it or acknowledge any kind of stuff that was going on when I was having the panic attack. So it took some work to pull it on out. But then I started getting better, because it's like your body, me anyway, like I can't hold things in. Obviously, you guys have, if you've been watching me for a while, you know this about me. I can't, if I'm mad, it comes out. If I'm happy, it comes out. If I'm obviously upset, if I can't hold it in, it has to come out, or my body's like, why are you holding this? You are crazy. That doesn't mean bipolar. So, okay, that's all. But anyway, I just, again, wanted to put that out there. For my reason, again, is, you know, there's people, and it may not be happening to you right now, and it might happen to you in the future, or it's happened to you before and you know what I'm talking about. Or if it's happening to you right now, then just like pay attention to what your body's saying you need. And if you're able to get those things or do those things, then do it. You know what I mean? That's that. And I'm actually thinking about starting like a video diary, and just like for myself. One of my girlfriends I talked to her for probably an hour and a half today. And she was like, you need to start journaling right now. I'm like, my brain works faster than my hand. So I'm afraid I don't know that would like, or like verbal diarrhea. You know, I just need to get it out. So I might have to do that, and just be like my own therapist, and play back my own videos, and be like video diary, and then play it back and be like, I'm going to voice over myself being a therapist to myself. And then we'll talk about bipolar. Okay. Anyway. Okay. That's it. Anyway. Thanks, you guys. Oh, Motivated Mom, thank you so much for that super chat. That's really sweet. She says, hugs, we can only take so much stress, and sometimes going and taking a break for a day or so might help. That's true. Absolutely. So I have only had one. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's debilitating. Yeah, the panic attacks before we had kids, I had them really, really bad. Luckily that hit back then. And Randy thought I was going to quit my job. It was when I was teaching. And he thought I was going to just quit, you know, but no, I didn't. But he would have to physically walk me to the car some mornings, because I was like in panic mode, and like, I have to get to work, but I'm already panicking. And it wasn't work that I was panicking about, but it was just like happening. And like, I need to get to work. And so he would like physically have to help me to the car, because I could not function. It was nuts, you know, hyperventilating and things. So you just never know, right? You never know what's going to hit and when or where, and or who's going through stuff. That's that quote, right? That you never, like, be kind to people because you never know what they're going through, or something like that. You're behind the scenes. So there's that. All right. I give big hugs to everybody. Hopefully you're doing well. If you needed this message, I hope you heard it and that it helped. And if you didn't, and you're like super annoyed, just, I don't know, go leave a nice message anyway, because good karma will come back to you, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, here's a big heart for you. Thanks, guys. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.